Okay, hello everyone. I'm Chandni Navalkha, Director of Conservation and Stewardship at the Lincoln Institute of Land Policy. And on behalf of the International Land Conservation Network, welcome to today's virtual award ceremony for the inaugural ILCN Conservation Innovation Award. Please know that we're recording today's event and we'll share the link for that recording with everyone who registered. We hope that you'll disseminate the recording among colleagues who may not be able to join today live. I'm going to kick off today's program with just a few words of introduction. For old and new friends of our network, the ILCN is the only global network that connects practitioners and organizations to advance policy and practice for private and civic land conservation. Since we were founded at the Lincoln Institute of Land Policy in 2014, conservation innovation has been a key focus of our work and strategy. This year, after more than a decade serving a growing worldwide community of practice, we were proud to establish the ILCN Conservation Innovation Award with the support of 16 generous donors and the Lincoln Institute. We know that the major headwinds facing communities and the ecosystems we depend on make innovation in conservation absolutely essential. And we also know that conservation in itself and innovation in itself is not enough. It needs to deliver lasting, on-the-ground outcomes for people and communities. Awards shine a spotlight on creative solutions and the dedicated people behind them. They help elevate and bring impactful efforts from the margins to the mainstream. They inspire others to think in new ways about the challenges and opportunities in their places. And perhaps most importantly, awards celebrate progress. They remind us that innovation is happening all around us, that solutions exist, and that collective effort and persistence can drive real change. The ILCN Conservation Innovation Award was created to identify and amplify landmark innovations in the field of private and civic land conservation. By honoring practitioners and organizations in this field, we not only recognize impact, but we cultivate a community of practice that values ingenuity, resilience, and hope. During the selection process, we saw these values in abundance. We received 40 nominations across 6 continents, across innovations in conservation law and policy, conservation finance, governance, and land stewardship and management. It was not an easy selection process, and I want to thank each and every nominated candidate and their nominator for their leadership. Along with the award selection committee, I could not be more thrilled to announce that the 2025 ILCN Conservation Innovation Award recipient is Fundación Tierra Austral. Before we introduce you to Austral's work, I'll hand it over to John Farner, Executive Director of the Land and Water Impact Area at the Lincoln Institute, to share a few words. John, over to you.
Great. Thanks, Chandni. Welcome, everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time, either live with us this morning on the East Coast of the United States or asynchronously, wherever you are throughout the world. I want to echo words of support from Chandni. But first, talking a little bit about the Lincoln Institute of Land Policy's focus, on land and water. About a year and a half ago, the Lincoln Institute created 3 separate impact areas to drive impact throughout the world. I oversee the land and water impact area where our land conservation and restoration program and the ILCN sits. I mention this because through this organization at the Lincoln Institute, the ILCN has found a great home within the Lincoln Institute under the leadership of Jim and now Chandni, Ruchi, and Robin really have a strong focus on not only what we are doing or continuing the great work that's been done since the inception of ILCN, but growing that throughout continued support in the programmatic focus of land conservation and restoration. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about innovation. Innovation is often overlooked in organizations like the Lincoln Institute of Land Policy. However, we at the Land and Water Impact Area, specifically through this award and other initiatives in land conservation and restoration, really embrace the concepts of innovation, recognize that work throughout the world, and try to elevate it through examples such as what's been done and recognized today. So I really appreciate the leadership that Jim, your vision and creation, Chandni, what you and your team have done, and everybody throughout ILCN, and congratulate on behalf of the entire Lincoln Institute of Land Policy, the recipient of this year's Conservation Innovation Award, Fundación Tierra Austral. So thank you, and Chandni, back to you.
Thank you so much, John, for those words of support. So many of you are longtime friends of Tierra Austral, and some of you are new to their work. I'd like to start by playing a short video about 11 minutes long to introduce you to this remarkable organization that we're recognizing today. Robin, queuing up the video.
La naturaleza en Chile requiere de muchos actores para poder ser cuidada.
Nosotros siempre tenemos un cariño innato por la naturaleza, que a medida que vamos creciendo se va erosionando, se va esfumando.
Pero también hay muchas oportunidades y a nosotros nos toca dejar este lugar mejor de lo que lo recibimos.
Conservar algo que quizás mucha gente aún no se da cuenta, el paraíso del cual es vecino.
Las repercusiones de conservar yo creo que son mucho más grandes que de repente las que podemos ver de manera inmediata.
La Fundación Tierra Austral es una organización sin fines de lucro, creada hace ya 14 años, con el objetivo de conservar la naturaleza con socios que son personas, familias, empresas, que es el espacio donde el Estado no tiene muchas herramientas para actuar.
La primera cosa que nos planteamos es qué ocurre con esto cuando nosotros fallecemos. Analizamos las fundaciones y precisamente decidimos por la Fundación Tierra Austral porque es la que más daba garantía que efectivamente se iba a preocupar definitivamente de la conservación del área. Tierra Austral nos ha apoyado ahora para hacer limpieza arriba, para hacer los cercos, y son cosas que son fundamentales para poder desarrollar el lugar, pero que nosotros no teníamos los recursos. Ahora uno se puede morir tranquilo, porque sabe que esto se va a mantener y que este ecosistema también se va a mantener. Es cuidarlo para el ser humano.
Es un refugio para toda la flora, fauna y funga, y el poqui es un pequeño tesorito que está aquí en el corazón de la región de Higgins.
Fundación Tierra Austral trabaja con privados, con aquellos que quieren tomar una decisión, que es una decisión radical y profunda. Y por lo tanto vamos a entrar en un acuerdo que se llama Derecho Real de Conservación, pero que a muchas escalas se parece a un matrimonio. Tiene un apoyo técnico, obviamente, tiene un apoyo legal, tiene un apoyo contable, un apoyo financiero. Es un proceso lindo, profundo, intenso, del que estamos muy agradecidos.
Lo cual quizá en un principio era un desafío que genera cierto miedo, porque en el fondo es esa perpetuidad. Pero es distinto hacerlo como con un equipo consolidado detrás de profesionales. De tener a quien preguntarle o tener la asesoría de algún especialista de la mano ayuda en el trayecto.
Tomé la decisión de conservar este espacio porque veo que en general la isla de Chiloé, bueno, y el archipiélago en general, está perdiendo mucho de su biodiversidad. Es casi un paraíso lo que tenemos acá, que hay que preservar. Estoy convencido que los niños y niñas van a tomar esos proyectos y van a poder replicarlo. Entonces, cuando vienen acá a ayudar con la plantación, a veces vienen a hacer una visita para ver los hongos y es algo positivo que ellos experimentan. Creo que es el futuro de la conservación.
Cuando tú conoces algo es imposible no querer cuidarlo y conservarlo. Cuando lo has recorrido, cuando has visto cómo son los rincones y sus bosques, su fauna, su flora, es obvio querer conservarlo. Un gran espacio, un gran lugar, una gran cuenca conservada a perpetuidad para mantener la maravilla de la cordillera maulina, que para mi gusto es una de las cordilleras y uno de los paisajes más lindos de Chile y del mundo.
To protect 20,000 hectares of beautiful, high ecological priority land, we're very excited about.
El cuidado de un área protegida requiere una serie de acciones. ¿Cómo hacemos para que haya acceso público y toda la oportunidad de educación ambiental que tienen estos lugares? El acceso público requiere un sendero seguro, requiere un guardaparque, mecanismos de control de incendio, quién administra, quién lleva una contabilidad. Son varias escalas de financiamiento que son necesarias para que estos lugares puedan ser efectivamente cuidados y no sean simplemente una intención.
Tierra Austral aparece como un aliado estratégico en la conservación de las tierras aledañas a cuerpos de agua, que es nuestra misión. Entonces ahí estamos como trabajando en conjunto para poder proteger ese ecosistema de manera más integral. Nos ha ayudado a posicionar la idea de que el DRC puede ser para cualquier propiedad de cualquier extensión y que permite combinar actividades humanas con este deseo y estos esfuerzos de conservar.
Partiendo desde el agua, es uno de los ríos más importantes para hacer deportes de aguas blancas en el mundo. Tenemos todavía la posibilidad de tomar decisiones informadas y avanzar hacia un desarrollo, pero siempre considerando que se mantenga la salud y bienestar de los ecosistemas.
La decisión de conservar fue producto de una amenaza minera que este primer paso de conservar la perpetuidad bajo el DRC permite blindarnos frente a esta amenaza minera y a su vez de proyectar este espacio ecosistema que tiene una larga estación seca, pero dedicándonos al turismo y a la conservación. Permite no solo preservar este patrimonio de biodiversidad y geopatrimonio, sino que le permite acceder a la comunidad que lo circunda a un espacio natural que hoy día no existe.
Y una manera maravillosa de vincularse y de aprender más de la flora, de la fauna que vive en este cerro.
El valor ecológico de este lugar es que es parte de la reserva de la biosfera. Esto es bosque templado lluvioso, con mínima intervención antrópica.
La validación de este espacio con la comunidad ha sido muy bien trabajado a través de una mesa de diálogo para difundir este espacio desde la mirada cultural.
Y queremos continuar en esta senda para poder conservar ciertos lugares que tengan características y valores especiales, tanto para la comunidad como su valor ecológico.
The fact that we've now had secured agreements, reached agreements with 14 landowners and families to protect all of this land in just about 5 years is very rapid progress, and we're proud of it.
Poder habitar el lugar, pero de esta nueva forma. Entonces, con Tierra Austral hemos aprendido de cómo hacerlo, vivirlo y que quede tal cual está o mejor si se pudiera.
A futuro me veo que la reserva podría ser un lugar precioso para caminar, con lugares que están a 15 minutos del centro de Villa Alemana. Internarse en un bosque bastante virgen, creo que puede ser un aporte increíble. ¿Sí?
Todo lo que sucede aquí tiene una historia que tiene que ver con una dinámica especial que es los ciclos eruptivos del volcán y la respuesta de la naturaleza a esos ciclos y la respuesta de nosotros como comunidades a esos ciclos. Cuando fracasó el proyecto inmobiliario fue la oportunidad para transformarlo en una reserva y ahora somos una comunidad de 22 socios que protegemos este lugar. Hay un cariño especial porque esto se formó para protegerlo.
La amenaza de San Jorge, bueno, la principal es el crecimiento urbano. Se va quebrando el bosque para la vivienda. Ya se frenó la urbanización, porque se declaró que iba a ser bosque para el bosque, bosque para siempre.
Y queremos integrarlo a la comunidad a través de talleres, estudios de la naturaleza y compartirlo con la gente en ese enfoque.
Siendo un hogar para toda la fauna, para todos los hongos, para todos los pajaritos que viven acá. Entonces un poco es un legado, que siga siendo un legado para la naturaleza y siempre tratando igual de involucrar al humano como parte de esa naturaleza y darles un entorno donde ellos puedan sentir su esencia.
Y estamos en este momento en el desafío de financiarlos en el largo plazo. Apoyar a Tierra Austral es apoyar a estas 21.000 hectáreas y ojalá muchos más, a 14 proyectos que están andando, que tienen una importancia enorme en las geografías donde están ubicados.
Sin la Tierra Austral nosotros, yo se lo he dicho, no hubiéramos podido hacer nada. Porque son los que nos llevan de la mano en este camino.
Nos damos cuenta que no estamos solos en este proceso de conservación.
Generar la posibilidad de abrir este parque para que las personas lo puedan recorrer, lo puedan conocer.
Y dejarle este pedacito de paraíso a los que vienen después de mí, tal como yo lo conocí. Un lugar increíble y que todos merecemos conocer y disfrutar.
Video is a beautiful introduction to the work that Fundación Tierra Austral is being recognized for today, working in collaboration with landowners across Chile to implement a new legal tool for permanent conservation on private land of high ecological importance. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Jim Levitt, former director of the International Land Conservation Network at the Lincoln Institute, whose decades-long focus on conservation innovation inspired the creation of this award. Jim, over to you.
Chandni, thank you so much. It's very moving for me to see what you all have done especially in the last 5 years. I will admit that I've known Henry and Victoria and Rand and Pancho Solis and many other people for more than 2 decades, and was there at a time when we talked about the possibility of real private land conservation in Chile. The work of all of these people in helping to advance the Director Real de Conservación has been well documented before and acknowledged, and we so appreciate that. What we're here today to celebrate, especially with all of you around the conference table that I can see right now, many of whom I've never met before, is your amazing achievement over the last 5 years, where you took the DRC and you've implemented it on so many hectares across Chile. And to see the pictures and the faces and the trust that you've built with landowners to achieve the conservation progress that you've made is just astounding. And I congratulate you all for that. The award was conceived to highlight conservation innovation, which at the ILCN has always meant something fairly specific. Its launching pad was a group of scholars at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University who came up with a set of criteria for innovation in government. We tinkered with that a little bit and added at least one criteria. And so conservation innovations, as we look at them at the ILCN, have 5 characteristics, 5 attributes. And I think that Fundación Tierra Austral meets all of those, particularly in the last 5 years. That is novelty, strategic significance, measurable effectiveness, transferability, and the promise of enduring, not over a year or 5 years, but over decades and even centuries. Listening to the testimony that we just heard, I think that what you've done in the last 5 years is going to endure for a very long time. But let me go through these characteristics specifically, just to point out how beautifully what you've done over the last 5 years fits these criteria. Novelty. The Derecho Real de Conservación itself was novel, but even more creative, even more important, was the ability to implement that idea on the ground. And with support from the BHP Foundation and from people like Rand, who joined the board, and guidance from people like Henry, who have long experience in this field, Victoria and her staff have been able to do something that had never been done before, certainly in Chile, and I don't think in all of South America, which is to implement a standard-based regime of land conservation on a very wide territory, and that's exactly what you all have done. Is it strategically significant? My understanding is the FTA program has protected to date more than 50,000 acres, and I will speak in acres being an American, of land between 2018 and 2025. And according to my sources at the FTA, there are more than 30 additional land protection projects using the DRC that you all are now working on. So you have not taken a light agenda, you've taken on everything you possibly can, and that is strategically significant. You've changed the way that people think about what a mighty little land conservation organization can do in a country that's new to private land conservation. That's changed the game all across South America, and in fact influenced people as far as Europe and New Zealand and Australia. Measurably effectiveness, I just went over some statistics. I think one thing that I want to add to that is that you've been measurably effective in bringing a set of standards and practices to your work, so that we can say that almost, if not all, of the territories that you protected are protected by a very rigorous set of guidelines that are being copied all over the world. So again, you have changed the way that practitioners do their work. Transferability, my understanding is that the model that you've set has already been transferred to at least one of the states in Mexico. There's a second state in Mexico that's considering implementing the same, and that there are inquiries from all over the world to FTA to come and see what you have done. And that's a tribute to the amazing amount of effort that you put into it. And finally, is your work enduring? I only refer to the gentleman who spoke at the beginning of the film that we just saw, who said that he can rest in peace knowing that his land will be protected forever. That's exactly the kind of trust that we have to build to be able to do our work, and you all have done it. So I congratulate you for setting a model that's of global significance, and I look forward to the progress that you're going to make in years to come. Thank you, Chandni.
Thank you, Jim, for just how beautifully you outlined why we think that FTA meets all of the criteria for conservation innovation and is just an outstanding inaugural recipient for this award. All right, so I'll hand it over now to Rand Wentworth. Rand is the Lewis and Gabrielle Bacon Senior Fellow in Environmental Leadership at the Harvard Kennedy School's Center for Public Leadership and a member of Tierra Austral's Board of Directors. Rand, over to you.
For most organizations, the prospect of protecting one great place is ambitious and far-reaching. What Tierra Austral has done over these past years, 16 years, is actually to create a movement, to create an idea that has caught fire with landowners across Chile. This notion of private land conservation is a new one for Chile and for most countries. What we've seen in recent years the great work of Doug and Chris Tompkins in buying land and protecting it as national parks. It's terrific work. But what the Tierra Austral has done is take that foundation of an ethic of conservation, but apply it to private landowners who will be in partnership with Tierra Austral for years and years to come. That required a new and fresh thinking about the legal structure for conservation. In the civil code, the idea of a conservation easement in the United States just didn't work. For most people, that would be the end of the story. But for Tierra Austral, working with attorneys and political leaders over many years, created this notion of the Derecho Real de Conservación. This is, as Jim said, I think applicable to other countries using the civil code, and it has opened up an extraordinary set of opportunities that perhaps once there was the constitutional amendment to create the Derecho Real, then there had to be the infrastructure, the legal infrastructure to carry it forward. Rigorous standards, appropriate use of appraisals, the ability to defend conservation restrictions or Derecho Reals in this case, the stewardship and care of land. All of this is really inventing a way of being, a way of protecting land throughout Chile. I want to say that the secret sauce of Tierra Austral, I think, is their relationships. Their ability to build trusting relationships first and foremost with landowners or government officials or philanthropists. The kind of warmth, the personal approach that Victoria Alonso brings to her work, and the work of the people around the conference table and others who were not here today. These relationships are what makes Tierra Austral tick. I want to recognize and just celebrate the leadership of Victoria Alonso over these years. This is not something that comes easily. And I want to recognize that it's like any great leader, it's leadership is best done from the side. And Victoria is lifting up an extraordinary cohort of leaders whose relationships with landowners is carrying the organization forward. So in all of this, innovation, yes. Relationships, yes. But a bold vision for the future, having established these standards, awakening in people's minds what might be possible for the protection of private land in Chile. But then a bold vision in the most recent strategic plan to protect 300,000 hectares in the next 5 years. That's a breathtaking goal and worthy of this award. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Rand. And we hear the applause silently from the conference room over there from FTA. So this is a virtual award ceremony, and because of that, we don't have a physical award to send you, but we will be sending you one by mail. I'd like now to formally award you with the 2025 Conservation Innovation Award and say to the whole team at Fundación Tierra Austral that, as Jim and Rand have so wonderfully described, the work that you're doing in collaboration with landowners and partners across Chile's landscape, the ambition that you're showing, is an incredible example of the power of a small and dedicated team to achieve truly great things. And now, at long last, I'd like to invite Victoria Alonso, Executive Director of Tierra Austral, and your colleagues to accept this virtual award and to share your remarks. Over to you, Victoria, and the FTA team.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I will be reading a speech. I'm touched. I'm really happy to be here standing in front of the screen, but it feels really close. As you were saying, we've been friends and we've been walking this road for a long time now. It doesn't seem too long, Jim. It doesn't. So thank you. I appreciate and I receive and accept the award. Let me talk a little bit about what has happened. And since the beginning, this has been humble. And I think that it still is, and that is important. It's a small group of smart people, good friends, and the inspiration for private land conservation movements in other countries. We began to think about how to build private lands capacity and action in Chile. So to be recognized today for our creativity, strategic vision, effectiveness, and long-term impact, it is truly an honor. Thank you so much. Those are very strong words, but I would like to add some more, if I may. I would like to add that this is an initiative that has brought together broad-based talent. And look at that room. Everybody there is talented, and so many other people. We were and are so fortunate to have a group of very talented and committed people working in this initiative. They have been doing so for decades now. Intelligence, charisma, expertise, drive, focus, good humor, sometimes Black humor too, of the people involved has been essential to this success. I would like to mention Henry, of course, Rafael Asenjo, Catherine Kenrick, Guillermo Donoso, and many more. Also, this is an effort that needs perseverance and continuity, so patience has been a very important word guiding us. Big change takes time, and we have often had to be patient to succeed. On the other hand, sometimes we have needed to be politely impatient too, to demand results, to push a little bit harder than some might like. To have all these qualities in the leaders of these efforts seems rare, but it's certainly invaluable. And yes, tangible results. We remain steadfastly committed to increasing the pace and the scale of our land conservation efforts. So anybody that wants to help, you are all welcome. And we bring a mixture of practicality and vision to our work. We are moved to create a beautiful mosaic of permanently conserved public and private lands in this beautiful country, Chile. We are slowly becoming an example, and we hope an inspiration to others and to other countries in Latin America and beyond. In 2024, we signed our biggest Derecho Real de Conservación. I don't think that size matters, but sometimes it does. This was our biggest agreement to date. The Cuenca Andina Park is committed by the Durr family. After more than a year of discussions, negotiations, and planning, the landowner family protected a truly magnificent 10,000 hectares property comprised of Mediterranean habitat. And we always need to say that this is Chile's rarest, most threatened, and least protected of our ecosystem, along with the beautiful temperate forest. I invited our team to witness the moment of the signature of the agreement. The elderly landowner also brought his granddaughter, Martina, to the momentous occasion. Before signing the DRC document, he asked us, the Tierra Austral team, to explain to Martina, she's 19 years old, what we were doing. At the end of our dry and technical explanation of the DRC process, the grandfather translated to Martina. This signature means that you, and only you, will be able to take care of our land in perpetuity. Congratulations. What the landowner was trying to say to his granddaughter, and to celebrate was that he was not imposing anything on his family. Instead, he was making a gift and leaving a conservation legacy to the next generation. For the first time, I was able to witness the true power of our work and how the grandfather, the son, the daughters, and the grandchildren were all united for nature. That was beautiful. And now I would like to thank the ILCN and this inaugural award. We have been members in this assumption, and it's amazing to see how far it has gone since then. So congratulations to the ILCN. The Lincoln Institute of Land Policy, including John Farner, Lincoln's Executive Director at Land of Water Policy, and our great friends, Jim and Chandni, who provide us with constant inspiration and support. Ran Wentworth for his eloquent words. Ran's decision to run Tierra Austral board was another turning point for our organization. His guidance and faith in our efforts is a constant reminder that we are on the right track. Thank you, Ran. Our staff and board members, in particular, I want to thank Michael Grasty as our chair. His long-standing vision of importance of private lands conservation in Chile and his leadership of Tierra Austral from the very beginning. Thank you, Michael. Don Whedon for his support of land conservation in Chile, including his instrumental role in securing the passage of the Derecho Real de Conservación against long odds, and the enormous impact he has had through the Whedon Foundation, which also supported us and provided funding along with Wendy Paulson, thank you, Wendy, when all this was just an idea. Don and Wendy's decision to support our work was a pivotal moment that helped launch what has grown into a full-fledged private lands conservation movement in Chile. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge Rafael, Asenjo, and Guillermo Donoso for their long-standing advice and counsel from the very beginning of our work. Also, Kathy, Barkley, Marcela Renteria, their insights and intuition has guided our board. I would like to also welcome and thank Jeffrey Parrish and Edmundo Luchans. They joined our board a month ago. Welcome to this adventure. Also, let me stop a minute to thank Pancho Solis, a colleague and friends, for his brilliant vision and essential role in the creation of the DRC. Our supporters, donors, in particular BHP Foundation, who funded an idea when we was really a hero to be doing that at that moment. That allowed us to lay the groundwork to transform our organization into what it is today. And more recently, the WIS Foundation and the Horizon Foundation, among others, thank you for trusting us. It's so important. And then, perhaps most important, I want to offer my heartfelt thanks to the landowners who have trusted this idea and our organization, and then taken such bold action to conserve their properties forever. Dear friends and partners today, like the ones you saw in the video, but also Catherine, Kendrick, Jaron, Manuel, Luis, Nena, Josefa, so many others, and so many more. It is really their generosity and commitment that make our work possible, meaningful, and enduring. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victoria. And, as I think your remarks really show, it is this web of relationships that sustains this work and helps it to grow and make an impact. And I think you really captured that. And to honor this moment, many of your several of your key friends and partners who have seen the progress and impact of your work since Fundación Tierra Austral was founded were kind enough to share messages of congratulations today. And so we put together just a small video. I know some of those friends are actually online here today. And so we're excited to share their congratulatory remarks. Robin, if you could play the video, that would be great.
Here in the US, it can be easy to forget that some group pioneered the conservation and land trust tools decades ago and forever changed the course of conservation. Tierra Austral has been that pioneer in Chile. As the first land trust in Chile and the developer of the Derecho Real de Conservación, Tierra Austral has ensured the protection of natural treasures that will enrich the lives of both Chileans and visitors forever.
They have done so much in terms of innovation in Chile, starting by being the first and most trustable land trust in the country. And everything that they have done has been about innovation, about exploring new fields in private conservation in Chile.
What makes their approach innovative is their close connection to their partners. I sense that the team of Tierra Austral really cares about every single one of us, big or small project. And in my case, it gives me motivation to carry on with what I'm doing and like to do most in life. Apart from the fact that Tierra Austral was the first land trust in Chile and that they have something like 55,000 acres under their wings, What sets them apart is that they only work with people that are 100% committed to conservation and not people involved in greenwashing.
As you know, Fundación Tierra Austral has hold themselves as at the highest standards in everything what they do, and this has been amazing. They have set a standard that we never thought it was going to be possible for private conservation in Chile. They are again the most trustable land trust. They work with many partners in the private sector to make this reality of private conservation to work.
They have set a sort of standard that everyone dedicated to conservation hopefully will follow.
High-impact organizations have at least one thing in common: exceptional leaders. From my earliest interactions with Victoria, which began over 20 years ago when she headed up the Nature Conservancy's program in Chile, and I chaired TNC's New York chapter, it was clear that she was an exceptional leader. So, quite frankly, I'm not entirely surprised by Tierra Austral's impressive record of accomplishments. Victoria, congratulations to you and the entire team for all that you have done and will continue to do for the protection of nature in Chile and for this well-deserved recognition.
Congratulations, this is a moment to celebrate, and I think that under the leadership of Victoria, she has been amazing in creating this new generation of private conservationists in Chile. We hope that with this recognition, this new generation is going to feel inspired to continue the work and make the private conservation durable in Chile and also around the world.
Big applause, Tierra Austral, very well deserved. Your recognition as conservation innovators, congratulations, and surely many other people will take inspiration from what you have accomplished.
Again, to the whole Fundación Tierra Austral team, on behalf of the ILCN and all those here online, all of your friends and partners around the globe, congratulations on this much-deserved recognition. As you know, the ILCN Conservation Innovation Award is around transferring and adapting the amazing innovations that are led by the recognized organization to other geographies and jurisdictions. And so we look forward to working with you to disseminate, transfer, and adapt your implementation of the Director Real de Conservación in other regions and geographies. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thanks to all who joined this virtual award ceremony. Please stay tuned via the ILCN website and our newsletter to nominate candidates for the 2026 award and to hear about our work with Tierra Austral in the coming year to spread the wonderful work that they're doing. So thanks, everybody. Take care, and congratulations again.
Thank you. An honor.